What if I told you that your social anxiety isn't a flaw, it's actually your brain doing exactly what it's supposed to do? I know that sounds backwards, but stick with me, because the science behind this might completely change how you see yourself. If you've ever felt your heart race before speaking up in a meeting, if you've replayed a single conversation in your head for 3 days straight, if you've sat in your car outside a party for 20 minutes trying to convince yourself to go in, or if you've canceled plans at the last minute because the mere thought of socializing felt like climbing a mountain, this video is for you. Because what you are experiencing, it's not weakness, it's not a personality flaw, it's protection. Let me paint you a picture of what's actually happening inside your brain when you walk into a room full of people. There's this tiny, an almond-shaped structure deep in your brain called the amygdala. Think of it as your internal smoke detector. The moment you step into that social situation, it lights up like a Christmas tree. It immediately starts pumping stressed hormones into your bloodstream, adrenaline and cortisol, the same chemicals that would flood your system if you were face to face with a predator. And suddenly, everything changes. Your heart starts pounding so hard you can feel it in your throat. Your palms got clammy. Your mouth goes dry. Words that were perfectly clear in your head 2 seconds ago now feel tangled and impossible to say. You become hyper-aware of every single person looking at you, every pause in conversation, every subtle facial expression. Your body is screaming at you to leave, to escape, to get to safety. It feels like something is terribly wrong with you, like everyone else got a manual for being human that you somehow missed. But here's what's really happening. Your brain is sounding a 5-alarm fire because it genuinely believes you're in danger. Not the kind of danger where a car is about to hit you, but social danger. The possibility of saying something stupid, being judged, being rejected, being humiliated. And to your ancient brain, that kind of danger is just as real and just as threatening as a physical attack. Your body isn't betraying you. It's trying desperately, with every tool it has, to protect you from getting hurt. It remembers every awkward interaction, every time someone laughed at you, every moment you felt small or invisible or stupid, and it's determined, absolutely determined, that you will never feel that way again. Your brain doesn't hate you. It loves you so fiercely that it's willing to make you uncomfortable now to save you from potential pain later. Here's where it gets really interesting. This response isn't new. It's not something that developed because you had an embarrassing moment in middle school or because you grew up shy. This alarm system is millions of years old, and it's been passed down through countless generations because it kept your ancestors alive. Picture life 50,000 years ago. You're not living in a house with locks and a refrigerator. You're living in a small tribe of maybe 50 to 150 people. And being part of that group is literally the difference between life and death. If the tribe rejects you, if they decide you don't belong, you're cast out into a world where you can't hunt large animals alone, can't defend yourself against predators alone, can't survive the winter alone. Rejection doesn't just hurt, it's a death sentence. So humans evolved to become extraordinarily, almost obsessively sensitive to social cues. We developed the ability to read micro-expressions in a fraction of a second, to detect the slightest shift in someone's tone, to sense when the group is turning against us. We became wired to fear rejection, to constantly monitor what others think of us, to avoid saying or doing anything that might lower our status in the tribe. The humans who had this anxiety, who were cautious about social risks, were the ones who stayed in the group, who had children, who passed on their genes. Social anxiety isn't a modern malfunction. It's ancient wisdom, a survival mechanism that kept your bloodline alive for thousands of generations. The only problem is that this alarm system is now going off in situations that aren't actually life-threatening. Your amygdala can't tell the difference between being exiled from a hunter-gatherer tribe and being ignored at a coffee shop. It treats both as existential threats. You are not broken. You're just running Stone Age software in a digital age world. And sometimes the two don't quite match up. There's a psychologist named Dr. Elaine Aron, who spent decades researching something she calls highly sensitive people. These are individuals whose nervous systems process information more deeply and pick up on subtleties that most people miss entirely. If you have social anxiety, there's a good chance you're one of these people. You walk into a room and you're not just seeing people. You are reading them. You notice when someone's smile doesn't quite reach their eyes. You catch the half-second pause before they respond to you. And you're already analyzing what it means. You feel the energy shift when an uncomfortable topic comes up. You pick up on tensions and undercurrents that other people sail right past without noticing. In social situations, this could feel like a curse. While everyone else seems relaxed and natural, you're processing 1,000 signals at once. You are analyzing your own behavior, monitoring other people's reactions, trying to calibrate every word before it comes out of your mouth. It's exhausting. You leave a simple dinner party feeling like you just ran a mental marathon while everyone else seems energized and ready for more. But here's what most people don't realize. What you might not realize, this same sensitivity that makes social situations overwhelming is also a profound gift. It makes you incredibly empathetic, able to understand what someone is feeling even when they're trying to hide it. It makes you thoughtful, the kind of person who remembers small details about people because you actually pay attention. It makes you creative, able to see connections and meanings that others miss. It makes you a better friend, a better listener, a better human in so many ways. You are not experiencing the world wrong. You're experiencing it in higher definition, with more colors and more dimensions than most people can see. And yes, sometimes that's overwhelming, but it's also beautiful. Let's talk about something we don't discuss enough. What if it's not you? What if the world we're living in right now is genuinely, objectively too much? Think about what's expected of us today. We're supposed to maintain relationships with hundreds of friends on social media, to be available via text and email 24/7, to curate a personal brand, to network constantly, to be charming and witty in our Instagram captions, to attend every social event we're invited to never miss a birthday or a celebration, to be extroverted and enthusiastic and endlessly social. We're supposed to broadcast our lives, our thoughts, our faces, our opinions constantly. Our grandparents knew maybe a few hundred people in their entire lives. You probably scroll past a few hundred faces before you finish your morning coffee. The amount of social stimulation and social performance expected of us is unprecedented in human history. Your nervous system, which evolved for small tribal groups where you knew everyone intimately, is now trying to process thousands of social connections, comparisons, and interactions every single day. When your brain says this is too much, I need to step back, that's not pathology. That's actually a pretty reasonable response to an unreasonable situation. Your instinct to protect yourself, to set boundaries, to retreat and recharge, that's not you being antisocial or broken. That might be the healthiest, sanest things you're doing. Sometimes social anxiety isn't a personal failing. It's your body's way of saying the world is asking too much, and I'm trying to keep you safe from burning out completely. Now, here's the part where I need to be really clear. Everything I've said so far is about understanding and accepting where you are right now. But if your social anxiety is keeping you from living the life you actually want, if it's stopping you from connecting with people you care about, if it's holding you back from opportunities that matter to you, if it's making you feel trapped in your own life, then you absolutely can work with it. You can change it. And there's solid neuroscience behind this. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity, which means it can literally rewire itself based on your experiences. Those neural pathways that light up with anxiety every time you're in a social situation, they are not permanent. They are not set in stone. They were created through experience, and they can be reshaped through different experiences. Think of it like this. Your brain has been practicing anxiety for years, maybe decades. Every time you avoided a social situation, every time you replayed an awkward interaction, every time you predicted the worst-case scenario, you were strengthening those anxiety pathways. Your brain got really, really good at being anxious because that's what it practiced. But you can practice something different. through gradual exposure to social situations that feel manageable, through therapy approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy or acceptance and commitment therapy, through learning to talk to yourself differently, through building new experiences where social interaction feels safe, you can create new neural pathways. Slowly, with patience and repetition, that overprotective alarm system can learn to calibrate differently. It can learn that coffee with a friend is not the same as being exiled from the tribe. That a moment of awkwardness is not a life-threatening emergency. But here's the crucial part. The part that makes all the difference. Change doesn't come from shame. It doesn't come from hating the anxious part of yourself. From calling yourself weak or broken or pathetic. That just creates more fear, more anxiety, a vicious cycle that feeds on itself. Real change comes from understanding, from compassion, from being able to look at that anxious part of you and say, I see why you are scared. I understand that you are trying to help. Thank you for trying to protect me all these years. But I'm going to show you, gently, slowly, that we're safe now, that we can try this together. So let me say it one more time, because I need you to really hear this. You are not doing social anxiety wrong. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's protecting you, based on everything it's learned, based on millions of years of evolution, based on every experience you've had. Yes, maybe it's being overprotective. Yes, maybe it's reacting to old wounds that have healed. Yes, maybe it needs some gentle updating for the life you're living now. But it's not your enemy. It never has been. It's been your most loyal guardian. Sometimes too loyal, sometimes too fierce, but always trying to keep you safe. So the next time that familiar wave of anxiety washes over you before a social event, before a phone call, before you have to speak up in a group, try something different. Instead of thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal? Try this. Pause, take a breath, and say to yourself, thank you, brain. I know you are trying to protect me. I know you are scared. I see you, and I appreciate what you're trying to do. Acknowledge it, honor it, respect it for what it is. And then, if you choose to, if you want to, gently let it know. I've got this. We're okay, we're safe now. Let's try this together. If this resonated with you, I want to know. What would you say to your anxious brain if you could have a conversation with it right now? Leave a comment and let me know. And remember, you are not alone in this. There are millions of us walking around with these beautiful, sensitive, overprotective brains that are just trying their best to keep us safe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.